Hello, my name's Asatsu5, and this is my initial impressions of the Bell Grylls Squirrel Collaboration Survival Series Ultimate Knife. This is supposed to be the ultimate survival knife, and I'm not really sure about that. When I initially saw the Survival Series, there was many things I didn't like about the Survival Series, and you know, the thing that impressed me the most was the parang. I thought the parang was cool. But as for the knives and the other stuff, I wasn't too impressed. But I was walking around my local Academy Sports and Outdoors, and I saw this, and I looked at it, and I thought to myself, I'm going to go ahead and give it a chance. You know, who knows, I might be surprised, and I would love to be surprised. That would be awesome. But there was a few issues I have with the blade as of right now. And I haven't tested this knife. This is just an overview. I plan on going on a camping trip maybe in the next 3 months, but I don't know when. But I do know that there is a camping trip coming up in my future, and I really plan on thumping on this knife and testing it. But as of right now, this is just my overview. And to get started, I'm going to talk about the sheath. Some really cool things about the sheath. One of them is the integrated file steel. It's a ferrocerium rod, and it does work. I played with it, and it's integrated with the sheath, and it snaps into place. It's going to retain. It's not going to catch on any brush or anything and come out. At least I don't think so. And some other features about the sheath that I really like is that it has a diamond plate knife sharpener. If you're in a survival situation and you're stuck out in the woods, it's nice to be able to keep your knife sharp. It is coarse, it's going to take a lot of metal off, but really that's the best thing to have in a out in the wild situation. One of the things that puzzled me when I first got this knife, by the way, you can take this ballistic nylon panel off, and I really like that. And if you want, you can run some webbing or some string, paracord, and you can hang this off your belt. You can strap it to your pack, and you have this sheath in its simplest form. But if you get one of these, or if you ever get to handle one and you grab the sheath itself, not the ballistic panel, you'll feel that the sheath is rubberized. And when I first felt this, I was wondering, why is this sheath rubberized? Why is it so sticky and grabby? And then I got to thinking, maybe it has something to do with this pommel. Let's say, for example, you need to crack a nut, you need to drive a nail. It's not really that good of an idea to have an open blade and swinging at a nut or a nail like this. You see my issue? You can accidentally stab yourself in the eye or the neck. It's just not safe. But with this sheath, by the way, the sheath retains very, very well. I would have trouble slinging this out like this, but yeah, the knife's stuck in there, or it's not going to come out unless you want it out. But you can grab the sheath like so, and you can hammer with it. You can either grab the handle and hammer with it, and that's the conclusion I came up with. That's why the sheath is rubberized, so you can grab it and hammer. And this also protects you from cutting or stabbing yourself when you're hammering. So I thought that was a pretty cool feature. I'm glad they thought of that. Some features. Put the knife, the sheath on the panel backwards. Some features of the sheath that I didn't like, and this is just me. By the way, before I start on what I don't like, I did forget to say this. This upper retention strap is stretchy, so you can stretch it across and strap it in, and your knife is really not going to go anywhere. But some of the issues I do have with the sheath is the Velcro straps. Because Velcro wears out, Velcro can get clogged up with snow, mud, clay, and then you have useless Velcro straps. They can also pick up stuff like I don't know what y'all call them. I don't really know the real name to them, but down here in Texas we call them hitchhikers. It's like a seed and they're really pokey. And if you have Velcro, or if you just walk around in the woods, they'll attach to your clothes. And I can see that happening here. It's not a big issue, but it's just an inconvenience. And I don't see Velcro being as durable. I would really rather prefer them having a snap as opposed to the Velcro. Or better yet, have a Velcro and a snap all in the same strap. And that almost rhymed. That'd be cool if I could do that all the time. But anyways, yeah, I really prefer the snaps to the Velcro. Another feature that I don't like is the belt loop is extremely tight, and it's not that wide. So I can see having issues threading this through your belt, although it does have horizontal straps. And if you're pretty creative, I'm pretty sure you can fit this on Molly Gill, although I don't recommend this as a combat knife. It's more of a field utility camp knife, if you will. And lastly, the last thing about this sheath that I don't like is this ground L communications pouch. And it's a good idea, don't get me wrong. The fact that Barrel has a survival guide, I think the survival guide has valid information in it. All this is valid information on the pouch that holds the survival guide. But the main issue I have with it is that it's so tight. It's actually difficult for me to pull the instruction sheet out, and when you put them in, you end up ripping the stitches out. So a good way for them to fix this, it's hard to get back in, especially without ripping the pocket anymore. There you go. Is if they made the pocket just a little bit looser. It doesn't have to be much looser, but it just needs a little bit more play in it, so you can put the survival instructions in and out. You can get the pocket, slip it in and out easily. But this is just overly tight, and in order to put the instruction booklet into the pocket, you're ripping stitches. So I think they could have done a better job with that. Let's move on to the knife. Like I said, there's a lot of features I like about the knife, and there's some features I don't like. Another cool feature about the sheath that I almost forgot to tell you is that it's ambidextrous. You can put the knife in either way, if you're left-handed or right-handed, and that's a big plus. I'm really happy they thought of that. As for the knife, I really like the fact that they have the orange thumb guard ramp, orange lettering and trim right here. I think that's a good thing in case you drop a knife. You can more easily find it. It has a whistle on here, and I'm not going to blow the whistle inside, but I will have a whistle test. Well, there goes my clock. Anyways, it does have a safety whistle. That's very good for signaling. I think that's really nice that they included that in the lanyard. It has a metal pommel, like I said, so you can hammer with it and crush with it, and the two holes for lashing. I think those are really well thought out features. It even has this notch right here to strike the ferrocerium rod, so you don't have to use the actual edge. But my biggest complaint about this knife, and this is the main reason why I wasn't impressed with it when I first saw the series, is the partial serrations. It is my opinion. I'm gonna wait for the clock to finish. Okay. Alright then. My major complaint about this knife was the partial serrations on the blade. I could live with it being hollow ground and everything, but the partial serrations just, I don't understand what Barrel has, why he's so enamored by partial serrations on his blades. If you look at the knives he used in the past, I'm pretty sure there's only 2 blades I've ever seen him used on the show that weren't partially serrated. But you know, his custom knife they had made for about $500, it was partially serrated. A lot of the Gorbel knives that they used were partially serrated. And this new collaboration he did has a partially serrated blade. And it is my opinion that in a woodsy survival knife, kind of camp knife, the serrations aren't really called for. And I have experienced serrations bending and breaking with normal use. And I'm not saying these serrations will bend and break. I haven't been able to test them yet, but to me, you're going to be batoning with this. That's going to be really rough on those thin serrations. Serrations are going to be harder to sharpen in the wild, especially with this diamond sharpener. It's just going to be difficult trying to get into those serrations. And yes, serrations stay sharp or longer, but once they're dull, they are hell to sharpen. So that was my main thing. I could live with everything else, and that's what bothered me. This knife is hollow ground, so when you are batoning with it, it will create a little bit more drag because of this bevel right here, this grind that they have on the blade. It is drop point, which I think is an appropriate blade shape for the purpose of use or philosophy of use. Borrowing that term from Nothing Fancy, but yeah, I like the blade shape itself. I wish it was a Scandi grind or full flat ground, but it looks like a sturdy knife. It looks like you can do a lot of things with it. You can break into bone. You can probably hunt with it if you attach it to a stick or a pole. It looks like it'll do basically everything you need it to do in the woods, except for those serrations. That just gets to me. And that's what I'm really going to test when I go camping with this. I'm going to baton the crap out of this knife, and I'm going to put those serrations through the test. Some other things about this knife: it has a little file logo right there to signal your file starting notch. And some things about the knife when I got it out of the box. It had the factory bar on it, and what I mean by that is when you get a knife from the factory, before they actually send it off, they sharpen and do all the grinds on the blade, and then when they do the initial sharpening on the knife and they thin out this bevel right here, it'll get a ball. It's like a really microscopic thin sheet of metal that folds over to either side, and although that bar is sharp, it kind of keeps you from cutting with it. You can't cut through paper smoothly with it. You can't really shave with it. It pulls hell. And what they do is they put the knife under a buffle, and it buffs that bar off, and you get a sharp edge. Well, when I got this knife, it had the bar on it. They didn't polish it off, and like I said, it didn't really cut that well. I tried cutting paper. It just ripped paper. It didn't really slice it. But after taking it to the Spyderco sharp maker and knocking that bar off, we didn't really even sharpen it. We just knocked the bar off. It was slicing paper, with great ease. It was easy. It was very efficient at cutting paper, even with the serrations and the plain edge. All it needed was that bar to be knocked off, and it was razor sharp. So, as far as out of the box edge quality, it just depends. As far as quality control, they didn't knock the bar off, so that's a point taken away. But on the other hand, the blade geometry and the edge itself was there. You just have to knock the bar off. I'm a Satsu 5. I hope you enjoyed this little overview on the Bear Grylls Survival Series Ultimate Knife. I'm still not sure if it's going to be the ultimate survival knife, but I am going to give it a chance, and hopefully it'll surprise me. I'm a Satsu 5, and I'm out.